American Eagle recently launched its Great Jeans campaign starring actress Sydney Sweeney. Now, that triggered backlash over a pun on jeans that critics claimed echoed eugenics imagery. Critics have argued the ad promotes narrow beauty standards, while supporters view it as harmless wordplay. We sat down with Morgan Westcott, the Associate Dean of Marketing Management Programs at the BC Institute of Technology, to discuss if American Eagle intentionally courted controversy with this campaign and whether brands should pursue such provocative strategies in the future.
I wasn't in the boardrooms and the pitch rooms when this was developed, but I think it would be pretty naive to say that American Eagle had no idea that there would be any controversy with their choices. Um, these things are weighed really carefully when we're choosing a spokesperson. And again, we're thinking about target audience, we're thinking about demographics. But certainly, I think companies do want to be discussed, right? They want to become relevant. And for a company that, had lost a lot of currency and relevance, especially with young people, they seem to have achieved an agenda there for sure, in terms of getting those mentions and their Instagram stats, all of the press that's been generated by this campaign. I would say in that particular regard, they've been successful.
Now, we also asked Westcott how brands like American Eagle can really balance edgy marketing to gain viral traction while avoiding perceptions of cultural sensitivity.
One of the interesting things I think about this controversy is initially when this line was launched with Sydney as a spokesperson, there was a charitable cause attached to it. So Sydney Sweeney appeared in a film, and the protagonist in the film had, been the victim and was a survivor of domestic violence. And so one of the jeans had a butterfly symbol. There was a whole tie-in with this, and somehow that's gotten lost. And so I'm not really clear on, why the company hasn't promoted that as much or spoken about that as much. And maybe it was at the insistence of the nonprofit where they said, hey, you know what, we're going to take a step back. But I feel like that was a missed opportunity to connect this excitement about the brand to something, philanthropic and something that could have been really well received by people. So I was interesting to see that fall to the wayside really quickly.
We also touched on if American Eagle's swift response was effective in shifting the narrative from outrage to conversation and what could have been done differently.
I don't see a lot of narrative shifting being crafted by the company. And I would say, again, I'm not sure how deliberate that was. I don't know how prepared they were. I mean, the word viral is the word we use for a reason, right? And so when you unleash something, it does tend to take on a life of its own. And sometimes, companies aren't maybe able to find, to use the same metaphor, an antidote, or they're not able to control how quickly things are spreading. That's all speculation at this point. I will say when I look at what's happening from a marketing perspective, we're trying to influence sales here. And news just came out this morning that the foot traffic to American Eagle stores is still down 9% actually over last year. So again, when we see more mentions and we see controversy and we see press and we see maybe a temporary climb in stock, we do have to balance that out with, are they selling more jeans and are they selling more product overall? Because usually one of the goals of these campaigns is to drive foot traffic to physical and online stores. And apparently that's not happening right now.
We also asked Westcott what long-term impact this controversy might have on American Eagle's brand trust, especially among younger, more socially conscious consumers.
Yeah, it's interesting that you raise younger, more socially conscious consumers because, I've even talked about how this is an ad targeted at teens and teens want to be edgy, and we're recycling what Calvin Klein did with Brooke Shields. And then, when I was a teenager, Kate Moss and Nothing Comes Between Me and My Calvin. So to me, it feels a little boring, but maybe for today's teens, it does feel edgy. But of course, teens are not a homogenous group, right? There's a lot of independent sub-markets, including my own teenager, who this is not for her, right? And or her friends. And they're very socially conscious. They're very environmentally conscious. So I don't know that they would have been American Eagle consumers to begin with, but this certainly didn't help, and they won't be shopping there from what I'm gathering. So I think that again, brands need to be precise. They have the research into who they're trying to attract, and maybe there's a game plan that I'm not seeing. But yeah, I think you are going to alienate some potential shoppers today and in the future when you take this kind of approach. And my big overall question about this campaign from the beginning has been, how sustainable is this for the company? I think again, right? You can go viral, and then the virus can be stamped out. And I think that that's something that companies really need to be aware of when they employ these kind of tactics.